look at this beautiful sunset. Like, this is one of the things that I love about living here and why I appreciate that somebody once said, like, you should be vocalizing your gratitude. Not only your gratitude, but also vocalizing about the beauty around you, like, all the time, because it really just, like, brings more of it in, and it really solidifies your appreciation of it. And I'm just so distracted right now because these cotton candy clouds are like fucking amazing and so peaceful. Like, let me see. Can you see it behind here? I knew there was some behind here. Is that the moon? That's the moon. Wow, she's really doing her business up there, isn't she? Is the moon non-binary? I want to ask, asking for a friend. I want to like ask that as a legitimate question, because the other day I was thinking about how like the moon goes through so many phases that, you know, we call it a she because she only comes out at night. And that's what the yin energy is. It's kind of like that regenerative, like, energy restoration, which is usually what happens in the dark, usually happens at nighttime. We kind of associate getting your energy back with sleep and with darkness. But I think also we associate darkness with negative things, as well as in society, we see dark skin as not the most beautiful, not the most powerful, not the most capable. And so the darkness being associated with feminine energy also is like not the most powerful, not the most capable. Does that make any sense to anybody else? Like those ties coming together of like darkness and like even the color black being, you know, one that we find to be scary or less comfortable. And we even, you know, some people avoid the color black and wearing the color black, or feel that you should avoid the color black because it's not a bright, colorful, dynamic energy. And anyway, I'm getting totally off topic, but I'm thinking that, you know, because the moon transitions between, I have like so many mosquitoes on me right now, but I don't even care because I want to be outside. Which is why I'm like switching hands. I'm sorry for the rocky start here, but here, let me see if I could get situated. Which is why I feel that the moon is possibly non-binary, because it's not just one thing or another. It's not just like white or black, light or dark. It is all things at different times. It goes through phases. It adopts and adapts. How did I even get, just because she/it/they is there, Zay is there. Hi. I don't know if you all do the same thing, but I definitely talk to the moon, and I feel that it's like one of the best things that you could possibly do is talk to nature, because nature is always there, nature is alive, and it is so capable of and willing to restore your energy and give back more than it takes, honestly, because like, you know, these trees are just like fucking sitting here, like they're not even trying. They're not even like doing a whole lot, but they're doing so much. They're like They're like, they're giving more than I think was even the original intention by, whoever made everything. They didn't realize how much like trees do for us, how much flowers do for us, how much just like beautiful greenery does for us in terms of not only like the scientific shit, oxygenating the air and like creating healthier soil and attracting animals so that they can continue doing their jobs, but also just like the sounds that they create and the colors that they provide just give so much more than I think we even realize. And it's interesting because there have been studies done that, people who work in offices without windows, they put up posters on the wall that are just like natural scenes or landscapes that have like the colors green and blue, and people found themselves to be happier in those spaces once that was there than just like closed in walls for places that didn't have windows to the outdoors. So there really is something to it that we cannot necessarily put our finger on that is super spiritual and magical and rejuvenating. And I've talked about this for fucking 7 minutes now, so it's clearly powerful for me. And I feel that going out into nature helps you not only connect with others and connect with energies that are dissimilar to yours, but they also bring out something inside of you that you cannot get while you are inside the box, like while you are under a roof with no like openness and relationship to the infinite. Even if you don't believe in God, which I don't believe there's like a capital G-O-D. I don't think there's like an up and a down, like a heaven and a hell or whatever. I don't mean that kind of infinite. I mean like the infinite that is space, that is everything that exists outside of like our capacity for even like even fucking comprehending. Like we can theorize like oh fuck. Did you guys hear that? Anyway, so I am like way off of my original intention, but I think this is good because maybe this is exactly where I needed to go, which is toward the infinite, toward the unknowable, toward the connection that we have with things that are unseen. And I think it ties into, I know that I've talked about perfectionism before, but I think there is something beyond perfectionism that ties in, and it's like knowingness. It's like certainty. Beyond perfection, but tied into perfection is certainty, where, because we are humans and because we can logicize everything and we can reason things out and we have the ability to understand how things work, we've created tools for examining you know, like microorganisms that like we couldn't fucking see or even imagine, you know, just a few years ago, in terms of like how long and how vast, you know, time has been already accumulating. It's incredible how we have these brains that make us capable of understanding things. And so that breeds an obsession with, and maybe even like a discomfort when you don't have knowledge. We have this obsession with rightness and knowing the answers. And even when we're kids, you know, like I'll speak for myself. Even when I was a kid, I wouldn't answer questions when I wasn't positively sure, because I didn't want to look stupid. I didn't want to look or seem like I didn't know the answers, because I thought like I should be able to know the answers. If you're asking the question, then we should know the answers, right? But should kind of supports this idea that we are expected as humans to be able to know everything. And so we are expected to know everything. We are expected to have that knowledge, and like we're born with it or something. And it's amazing, because we actually are born with the ability to know things that we can't know in like the looking through a microscope kind of way, or in the like I know what's going on because I can smell it, or I can taste it, or you know, like I can hear it, or I'm trying to think of all the senses, touch it, and I just like got caught up in the sky again. You know, like we have the ability to know things that we are unable to be certain about. And I'll explain. Because we have our mind that, you know, like has all of these pathways, that the more that we use those pathways, the more easy it gets to use those pathways. We have our heart that reacts to all of like the chemical triggers that our brain sends through our body once it senses something. And we get information from here, we get information from here, but we also get information from here. We get information from our guts. We get information from our stomachs, which has all of this neurological activity that we didn't know about until very recently. And that is the kind of knowing that we disregard or stifle or even laugh at and minimize when we start to talk about like it's just a gut instinct, like I just have a feeling. In the age of masculinity, in the era of masculinity that has been the past 2,000 years, on average, approximately 2,000 years, we've been more obsessed with certain knowing than we have with uncertain feeling. And that feeling is really not just like a feeling of like I feel bad and then it goes away, or I feel great and then it goes away. It's not like feeling like emotional feeling that is like triggered by you know, like situations that we end up in. It's more that it's a feeling that is also a knowing. It's a capacity for knowing through something we can feel. Because you know that gut feeling that you get where something kind of jumps in here, or something gets triggered, or you like have this thought and you don't know where it came from, but you trust it first off, like on instinct. It's a totally instinctual thing. You just immediately trust it. Look how dark it's gotten already. And she's still there, or they is still there. It's an instinct. It's something that, you know, we celebrate. We celebrate people who have good instincts, and we celebrate when we know people who we trust to have good instincts because their instincts have been proven. Their instincts and their ability to follow their instincts has been shown over and over again. So when somebody has good instincts and they're in like real estate, or they're in like the stock market or something, and you know, they follow their instincts and they follow their gut, or they don't, and that's how they learn to follow their gut because they end up being wrong. We start to trust those people because they trust their instincts, and they let people know about it. However, there's a certainty in that still. There's a certainty in trusting only the people, you see my Lion King blanket, trusting only the people who trust something that they've been able to rely on, which is their instincts. However, we all have them. We all have them, and we all have the ability to listen to them the first time, to listen to our instincts, to pay attention, to actually give that ability, to give our instincts a chance to be right, and to, you know, to be reliable, and to help foster certainty. Because we love certainty. We love certainty. As humans, it makes us comfortable knowing what's going to be there when we get home, knowing what's going to be out there when we leave, knowing everything. And we were born with this innate knowing that feels like a feeling, and we call it a feeling, but only because we've been so conditioned, so entrenched in this ideal. And the ideal has been, ideally, you want to know. You want to be able to see it. You want to be able to touch it. You want to be able to taste it and smell it, hear it. You want to be able to use your senses to make that, make a decision, or I guess develop like an opinion about something with reason. You know, it's more reasonable. It's more reasonable to reason things out with our senses. However, let me tell you, intuition is that first voice that pops up. Intuition and your gut instinct is that very first knowing that we often fight because we can't see or hear or touch or smell what exactly it is or what exactly it means right when we access it, right when it's available to us. We start to question it because we want to be like, you know, the yang. We want to be known as like out in the open, in the light, white and clear, and all of those things that are associated with like dynamic, visible, father-son, masculine energy. And I mean father-son, like the sun, not like father-son, I don't know, baseball game or whatever the fuck. Not like offspring, but like father-son versus Mama Earth, where we don't know what's actually at the core of the earth. We have a good idea. We can instinctually figure out what might be there. And now we've got a couple of different, like scientific ways to kind of prove things. However, we don't know everything, and we're still learning so much about this earth and about what exists in the darkness of our uncertainty, of our unknowingness. And the more that we start to trust in this new era of the divine feminine starting to take over, the more that we trust that first instinct that is dark and mysterious, because we can't actually know what it is or where it came from or why it looks the way that it looks or why it feels the way that it feels. The more that we tap into that, the more that we can develop a certainty that doesn't need to use our senses. Develop a certainty that doesn't require evidence or explanation or logic, because it just is. It just fucking is. And I don't know how to explain it much more than that, but I would love to hear your thoughts about it. I would love to know what you feel, or what you think about certainty and the idea that, we as humans want that perfection of knowing with certainty. Let me know. I would love to know what you think about it. I would love to start an even deeper conversation about this. And I'm open to being influenced every time, all the time that I have these, conversations with you all. I'm open mind, open heart, open gut, everything. I would like to just continue learning throughout life. So please give me a little bit of feedback on what you think, feel, and I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. I love you. You are deserving of all the love you desire. Until next time.